So what's going through your mind, not to, think of the ego or think of the monkey mind in your head, but when you're talking to someone like that and you, what's going through your mind? Are you feeling anxious?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Of
nervous.
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And also I tell folks, if you're not feeling anxious and what you're saying and don't have this empathy, then you should probably look for a different job in law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get you a drug dog and do that bit, or commercials, or something like that. But there's also the effect of being too empathetic. Oh my God, how could you do? He's not doing it to you, okay? These folks, I'm sure you know, they don't want to hurt anybody else.
Yeah.
You've heard the saying, suicide is a very selfish act. I think that's a load of crap, personally, because they can't see a way out.
Yeah.
They think, a lot of them think they're doing their family good. They're not going to have to watch after me anymore. Many are homeless, and they think, now I'm a burden to everyone. Now I'm not going to be a burden.
Yeah.
So, but as far as what's going through my mind and negotiators' minds is, what can I do to help this person? What can we do to make this safe? Mm-hmm. So we're looking at things. Will they talk to us? What are they saying? Is there somebody I can contact possibly that might be able to talk to them? Once in a while, we use these third-party intermediaries. But we got to be careful of that, because they might say, hey, can you get my wife on the line? And really, that's the cause of this whole thing. And F you.
Yeah.
We have to be careful of that. But we call them hooks. What can I talk to this person about to stretch that time out? The longer we can talk, the more rapport we can build.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it a lot more difficult for them to then jump. So whether that's dogs, pets, cars,
pets,
TV shows,
mate.
movies,
Pets, yeah.
I've got my little dog's name's Ziggy, mate.
That'd get you.
At that point in time, if I was up on the bridge and you mentioned Ziggy to me,
So I'd like to think it was me. Think of the podcast, mate. Mate, I'll write you a tribute. Anything.
Let me sing you a song.
Yeah, let me just sing you something. Bill's the best, and I love him a lot. I know.
That's funny though that you mentioned pets.
That's a great point.
It's the one thing that, like, oh my God, that you can never hold any resentment against your pet.
No.
There's nothing that you could probably just love to the nth degree more than your pet. It's funny that you funny that you mentioned that. So, what are some of the other, like, negotiating? Yeah, keep talking to us about these negotiations.
So we call them hooks.
Yeah.
Something that, and we try to see what we have in common. Mm-hmm. Commonalities create comfort.
Yeah,
that's what we want to do. And mind you, it's very difficult to build comfort out on a bridge that's 220 feet up, cold steel, wind blowing, traffic, and everything else.
Yeah. Move, dickhead.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of something, mate.
Oh, Dad.
So I try to get so deep into them that all I look at is their face. And a lot of times I'll look at them when you first come up, because there's always officer safety, number one.
Yeah.
So, do they have any Scud missiles, anything, what's on them?
Yeah.
But after that, I'm looking at their face. I want to see their emotions. I want them to look me right in the face, whether it's good or bad, ugly, or whatever otherwise. Mm-hmm. But
You look great, mate.
Thank you. It took me a long time today. A lot of makeup.
Yeah. What's in those donuts?
Power rings.
Yes. Sorry.
So what can we talk about that? And we'll bring up all sorts of stuff. If they say something to the fact, you don't know what it's like to have depression. Well, unfortunately, I do. And we're not going to talk about medicine so much. I don't want to talk about that because I don't know a lot about it, for one. But I want to talk about, maybe symptoms. Wow, that happened to me also. And this is some of the things that I did about that, and setting maybe short-term goals. That's what I did, found out, and then leading to longer-term goals and how I got about that. Well, how'd you get up in the day? And I felt horrible. Well, sometimes it takes me a lot of days. Sometimes it's 10 cups of coffee a day, whatever. So comparing things and really being there for that person, thinking that putting that conversation like right here, I'm on my couch and you're there too, and we're just having this chat.
What is it like? I have, you mentioned the point before, and it personally hit home with me of about how when they're in that moment, it's not a selfish thing at all, because they just feel so low that they're doing everyone else a favor. And this was something that my cousin has had some pretty severe issues with drugs and things, and he's attempted to take his own life as well before. But it really changed just spending time with him and talking about it. We actually were able to find a lot of commonality through anxiety and talk about that. But it really changed because I always thought it's such a, when you say suicide is such a selfish thing, you really think it's, by definition, you're thinking about what that would be for you, you know? And it's like, if you take your own life, man, I'll be the worst. All this sort of thing. But if you don't take their perspective at all, you're only going to think like that. And having those chats with him was really game changing. But then my question is, do you at what point in the negotiation phase, if at all, do you kind of reverse that and, you know, do you say, like, have you thought about
your family,
the effect it may have on the people you love?
And especially if it's a parent with children, because we know for a fact, you know, if a parent or if you lose a child, you know, the parent, boom, has a much greater chance. Or as a parent, my oldest boy, who was now 17 a few years ago, was suicidal. And I can tell you, if he lost his life to suicide, the only thing keeping me around would be my other son, his younger brother. Mm-hmm. So I explain that to people. If they know the amount of pain that they're going to cause is one thing, but we have to be very, very careful about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to put that burden on them also. That's a whole other burden.
Yeah.
That, oh my God, now you're putting this on me too.
Yeah.
That's one more thing
pressure,
added.
yeah.
So
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when do you suggest that?
you know, we start talking about, you know, what in life is going your way, or when was a time in your life when you were really happy? What was going on, man? Did you have a trip? Were you at Disneyland? What was happening? How did you feel? Was your heart big? And well, why don't you think you can go back to that?
Yeah.
And really want to start emphasizing some positive things, not BS, but is there any percentage inside of you that wants to live? Let's talk about that.
What would be the changing factor?
Yes.
Are there some people that just have none of that? Like,
There is.
yeah.
And you're, you know, in your head like, man, if I was this individual, I'd be there too. So it's just really, really tough. So we offer things like, wow, you know what? I'm here for you today. I'm here for you right now. There's going to be other people like me around that are going to help you. You're going to have dark times. You may have a lot of them. But you know what? You go down and you come back up. And it's like this. But you know what? You're here. You're going to experience joy.
Definitely.
And you will. You will have some dark times. We all do. Maybe yours are going to go even down farther. But you come back up. You come back up, and at least you'll have the opportunity to try these.
Wow.
What do you think? So, Kevin, somebody who's spent so much of his life talking to people who are in these positions of helplessness and they feel like they've got nothing going for them. What do you think are the cultural, the problems we have culturally that bring on these, you know, bouts of anxiety and depression and so on and so forth? Surely you have some thoughts on where we could do things better and where we put pressure on people. Like, what are your thoughts there?
You know, I tell folks when they're at that bridge on top of or they're on top of a building or they put a gun to their head, this is like this stage 4 cancer. We need to get to them long before that.
Yeah.
Long before that. So in schools, I've had the opportunity to go speak at high schools and such. And it's really, really cool. I think just by doing that, to let them know, because when I was in school, long time ago, dark ages, nobody talked about this. It was taboo.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't even know how to spell
The
suicide.
printing press hadn't been
Yeah, no, nothing.
Morse code wasn't around.
So,
What skincare are you using again, mate?
You're the elixir of life, my friend.
so to be able to have someone come in and talk to folks, you know what? If you're feeling down and you've been feeling down for a number of weeks, there's something up. It's okay to ask for help, to come talk to somebody about it. And if you see somebody struggling, who's, a lot of times these kids will go in the bathroom and just cry and cry and cry and cry. We need to help somebody. Tell someone about this. You're not a tattletale. This is somebody's life. We're not no secrets.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel really fascinated about that sort of stuff. I think that crying in itself is a very good response to actually going through the process and stages of grief. You know, you're actually feeling emotions. I've read a couple of things, and a lot of people say that, you know, they get this sensation of numbness. You know, you just don't feel anything when you're going through these ruts. And I think that I think we need to be better as a society. You know, it's all well and good for me to say this, but you do believe that we should all possess some sort of ability that if you can identify, I guess, some sort of little thing of grief or some sort of issue, that we should have the ability to be like, hey, you know, and genuinely express what's going on. Like, can we have a chat or something? Just listen, you know. I think that people, again, that whether they, you know, mean it or not, have that personal or egotistical mindset of going, oh shit, like, what do I say? I don't know what to say. And you start getting anxious in yourself. But I think just listening to your own empathy and going, I can just listen and just let someone know. But then that makes me think, and this is what I guess Doc was referring to before with our sort of the way we're moving as a culture, and there is so much of an ability for us to distract ourselves in this day and age that it's getting almost harder and harder without the understanding of it. It's getting harder and harder for us to actually experience grief, because grief is shit. You know, it's really tough. You know, you go through all these emotions and all these things, and if we have an ability just to quickly take our phone out and get a little dopamine kick of notifications and things, we never go through that. I mean, is that some of the stuff that you say to these kids? And
yes,
yeah,
and you know, there's a lot more science coming behind it. I'll take my boy, my 14-year-old, for instance. I go down to the house where he's at, go into his room, and he's texting on his phone. He's watching a movie on his computer, and he has the TV on. Almost every time. I'm like, what do you do? Man, this is talking about overload.
Yeah. Well,
choose one.
He's got to watch 3 things. I mean, that's understandable. He's got to text and watch 3 things.
You wonder why.
He's got 10 hands, yeah?
He says, Dad, I'm not sleeping so well. I wonder why.
Yeah. That's right.
You got so much stuff going in and out.
Yeah.
That I never believed in meditation until 10 years ago or so. I thought, what a crock of crap stuff.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I got a little wiser. And my maturity is probably a 14-year-old now or something. But I'm getting better. I'm improving.
You look like a 14-year-old, mate.
Thank you. I feel like 114. But I went and I did some research on Transcendental Meditation, TM. And they had a class down in Sausalito. Went to the class, and it took quite a while for this class. It was over a couple of months or so. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. And wow, it really has a calming, soothing effect, and you're happy when you come out of that. It's very strange. I tell folks that as law enforcement, it's like when you go into a restaurant, you sit in the back so you can watch everybody coming in. You know, we don't close our eyes around people. You just don't. I mean, and been doing it long enough to where it just doesn't happen. Well, I'm in this class with 8 other people who I have no clue about. I've never even seen them in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be. Yeah. But we all do this meditation for a half hour or so, and my eyes are closed the entire time. The best meditations I have had is with those people who I have no clue who the hell they are.
Yeah, me too. Group meditations.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
I don't know
live.
if it's a power in there, whatever it is.
An energy thing.
Amazing stuff. But you have to open your mind and at least try it. If you go in with, it ain't going to work and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
It's not going to work.
Of course.
Discovery Roger, go for deploy.